Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast, the season of healing intentionally. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am so glad that you are here. This season, we are slowing down to go deeper. Every Monday and Wednesday, we're creating a space of intentional healing, authentic conversations, and the kind of self-love that transforms from the inside out. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself intentionally is the foundation of true transformation. So whether you're on your own journey of rebirth, navigating life transitions, or simply choosing yourself, this is your safe space. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's heal together intentionally, because you deserve to embrace that beautiful person that you are. Now let's get started. Welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I'm your host, Nyomi Banks, and today we are closing out a very powerful October series, is Stepping into Authenticity. Now, if you've been walking this journey with us all month, then you know that we've uncovering what it really means to live in your truth, to peel back the layers and to embody who we truly are. Not who the world told us to be, but who we know ourselves to be inside. Well, today's conversation is one that I resonate and that will resonate with your spirit. We're diving into what it means to unlock your highest self, not just the version of you that performs or survives, but the version that thrives in purpose, in clarity, and in love. So take a deep breath, because today's guest is someone to admire deeply. She's a human potential expert, a spiritual guide, and a best-selling author. Ms. Daphne Michaels is truly amazing to have her on here. But before we bring Ms. Michaels to the stage, let's take a quick break, all right? It's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks, here on this Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
Hey, it's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. We're bridging the gap between them all, and we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by. Me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG crew. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to xnyomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you. All right, my beautiful people. Well, welcome back. Well, welcome, Miss Daphne Michaels. How are you?
I'm doing so well, and I'm so happy to be here.
Beautiful, beautiful. But before we get into our topic and our conversation, we're going to take a nice guided meditation. Just break for 60 seconds, and that is it, all right? All right, our listeners, you know how we do it here every day. If you could just get yourself real comfortable right now, and if you feel comfortable enough to close your eyes, please do so at this moment. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Feel your body settle into this present moment. Visualize a radiant light within that represents your true, authentic self. Bright, calm, and grounded. Breathe in clarity and confidence. And breathe out any mask or doubts. Today we awaken to the power of your highest self. Take in one last deep breath in. Exhale, and when you are ready, gently open your eyes. My beautiful people, again, thank you for sharing that space with me. And if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, This is something we do every day, Monday through Friday, just to help ground us before we get in the topic at hand. I want to say this because I don't think I did my intro, of justice of you, Miss Daphne Michaels. I had time to read your background on everything that you had going on. But let me read this. This is what I wrote down here. Today, I have the phenomenal Daphne Michaels with a background in behavioral science and psychotherapy. Daphne has spent the past 2 decades helping people bridge the gap between science and spirit. She's a thought leader, an author, and a visionary behind SHB movement, empowering people to live ultimately, consciously, and step fully into their spiritual power. Well, today we'll be talking about how to recognize and how to embrace your authenticity, how to elevate your consciousness, and how to embody your highest self. Well, Daphne, again, thank you for joining me today. And let's just start with your story. Your walk was such an incredible path. Can you share on how your background in behavioral science evolved into spiritual and energetic work?
Well, actually, first of all, thank you for the introduction. I really appreciate that. And I am in such a great company with you because you are on a mission and you understand what it means to be on a mission. And I don't think there's any better mission to be on than to help people evolve into their higher self.
Yes.
So my background in behavioral science, actually, behavioral science was where I ended up because I had a spiritual awakening when I was 19 years old. And so that was a huge experience that I set out on the path to understand exactly what happened to me. And that took me to behavioral science. And so, but honestly, behavioral science was, it kind of talked about it, but not fully. Because behavioral science can only go so far in terms of, I was a psychotherapist for many years and decades actually. And I also worked with the evolution of consciousness, which is more of an energetic based process. So more like meditation and the kinds of things that you do. So what I realized is that psychotherapy is actually pretty limited in terms of how far we can get people. It helps people come out of the dark, which is great. It helps people function, which is great, but it does not help them evolve into their higher self necessarily. So that's the veering further than behavioral science into real human potential.
Yeah, thank you for answering. So you talk a lot about energetic autonomy, right?
I do.
Elevating awareness.
Yes.
What were some of the key moments that led you of understanding of that in your higher self?
Well, when I had that spiritual awakening, I was 19 years old. And it sounds kind of classic in a way. I was literally under the stars and something shifted in my consciousness. And I came into this understanding that life is so grand. And I know that we all know that. And I know that we've had glimpses of it, but to have such a big download and to understand in that moment that there are actually 2 paths to take. And one is the path of expanding that awareness of that higher consciousness. And the other is to live what other people want us to live in a very small way that we feel limited and helpless and like we don't have any choices in life. So really, in terms of psychotherapy, that is the path of the ego versus the path of the higher self. And it literally, I think I was a little bit slow because it literally took decades for me to understand what that really meant and what it really meant. And then studying the Eastern spirituality and understanding the chakra system and the energetic anatomy and understanding more and more about quantum physics, and that quantum physics is talking about the same thing. It's talking about energy versus matter. And that we all have a light body, and the light body is the expansion of our consciousness when we get beyond the ego. And this is where the law of attraction kicks in. This is where all of the magic in life comes from. It comes from developing our energetic anatomy.
What I love about this and with everything you just said, I just got chills. And why I got chills is because, and I'm very honest when I'm speaking to my listeners, that at the time of recording right now, this is pre of my explant journey. And I want to share with you a little bit about my explant journey and not only why I'm doing it, but that I understand that me removing these foreign objects in my body, it makes me fully 100% connected to myself spiritually, so I can truly be into my higher self. So,
yes.
So here, right, and this is so funny, guys, and I swear, because I've been up and down with illnesses. Like as I get closer to my surgery date, everything is intensified. You know, I'm not able to take medication or anything like this. And so I was honestly going to say, okay, I wasn't going to do any more interviews. But you are actually the very last interview until I come back.
Oh, wow. Yes. I'm honored.
Yes. And so it's just like, it's confirmation. Even though, well, Nyomi, you looked her up. No. Let me tell you guys something. I believe she had been sitting in my Western name for a while. And I just went and I saw what she wrote me. And I said, okay, this will be great. She will be great. And I was like, okay, I'm going to, because I thought you would be great for October series and everything. But I with doing that, I didn't know how it truly connected with me. Does that make sense?
Oh my goodness. This is exactly how it works at this higher level, right? When we connect on, higher self to higher self, meaning what our truth really is, how we really want to live, then we are magnetized to each other. And it's magic. Yeah. Everything in life becomes magical, and it's incredible.
Yeah. When I tell you, Daphne, the way that this year showed up for me from January 1st, from day one, it was just, this year is all about rebirth. And literally, I had every month was supposed to be a certain theme and everything like that. It was truly supposed to be that. That's how I had everything mapped out. But as I continue to, I'm in December, I went to a beautiful place, a weekend retreat. Really found, some more of my spiritual gifts. It was an amazing experience. And I was like, okay, I'm full force into 2026 is rebirth. 2025 rebirth, we're going to do it. So I had everything out. January 1st came. Before I knew it, everything that I had outlined and talked about, it went out the door. It was like the universe and God was just using every aspect of my life as not only teaching tools for me, but also for my listeners. And it was just so crazy how it was just happening. It was just in such a synchronicity that things were happening. The craziest thing, I had a young lady that came to me in December. I interviewed her. I'm so sorry. We're about to go off topic, but be on topic all in one time.
Oh, totally. This is how it works. It's perfect.
All in one time. And she came on and she told me about this book, Synchronicity. What is the name of the book? But I went and I read the book, and I know you probably know what I'm talking about with the Synchronicity book. And I will tell you probably off camera because I got brain fog right now.
Yeah.
But the book was just, it literally just said how everything was lined up when you are open. Yes. When you are open to receiving, when you have that.
Yes.
When you are so aware of that spiritual awakening. And I've had my spiritual awakening many years ago, but what I tell my listeners is that I have it often. I have it often as I continue to change, as I continue to move with certain things. It's amazing. It's amazing feeling. It's like when you're standing in your present moment and you can see your old version of you and you can see the new version of you, as well as being in your present moment. And it's such a amazing, it's like a high.
It is. It is. It's a natural high.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's what I tell people that work with me. We don't use drugs, we don't use, we don't need to,
No.
because if we can tune into our own energy and work with that frequency to get reconnected to who we really are and develop the pathways to allow our intention to have so much power that we're actually starting to speak our life into existence.
Yes.
That it is pure magic. It's incredible.
It is. The funny thing is when I'm talking to people on the outside of my little bubble. When I'm talking to people on the outside of my little bubble, and I'm not talking to you, my listeners, because you are inside of my bubble. But on the outside of my bubble, and you probably can relate to this, as when you're talking, is sometimes you're talking a foreign language to them because they don't understand what that means. What are you doing? And like you said, are you doing drugs? No, this is just truly. When I say that I haven't drank anything, I probably drank a glass of wine maybe twice this year.
Yeah.
Just twice this year. That's it.
Totally.
And so everything is truly natural. When I sit in prayer, when I sit in meditation, when I ask for prayer, I'm waiting for those messages. I listen to my body.
Yes.
I listen to my body. If my body shut down or is something happening around me, those are messages. Either I'm being protected from something, I'm being directed for something because I'm off the path of something else.
Yes.
And if I'm unbalanced,
absolutely.
It's just sitting in, y'all. When I tell y'all, sitting in awareness is such an amazing experience, but it can be very messy. And why it can be very messy is when you don't let go of those limited beliefs. When you don't put on those blinders or those earmuffs to hear the loud noise outside.
I think that, this path, and you've been on this path for a long time, and it's only recently that more and more people are just jumping onto the path. And I think so many more people want to have this.
Yeah.
Right. I've had people come to me and they've said, you've worked with a friend of mine and I don't know what she has, but I want it. Right. Because they see the energy, they see the force coming through. And so it's not going to be long, I don't think, before this is the norm. People are talking about how to love.
Yes.
People are talking about how to connect. Like that's the most important thing in life.
Yeah.
Right. We're not talking about the old problems anymore, even though they're heartbreaking, but we can't solve them there.
Right.
Right. We have to solve them in higher consciousness.
Yes. Yes.
So it's an incredibly exciting time. And I think as a leader, right, it's an incredible honor to help other people understand that they can come over.
Yeah.
And yes, it is messy at times, but there's so much more support now that is not, I don't think it's as messy because you don't feel totally alone.
I agree. I totally agree with you. When we have podcasts like this and other, especially the amazing guests as yourself that come on and it resonates. People literally hear their language now. They hear the language that they wasn't hearing before. Now, oh, wait a minute. That is what I've been hearing all along.
Yes.
That same dialect that I speak.
Exactly.
So now I understand. And that's one reason why I created the season of self-love, because I knew that it was something just so deeper that we need to have for ourselves, that we can go within ourselves and not look outside for validation, for the answers, for love. That's something that we all do. You don't make me happy. Okay, why am I depending on someone to make me happy? But this is something that we were taught. So if we knew about self-love, we knew about embracing every single bit about us, having an intimate relationship with ourselves, falling in love with our authentic self.
Yes, that's it.
Right. First, we got to find out what is that authentic self. That is where you go inside. That's where you go inside.
Mm-hmm.
What This is full circle. This is so full circle, but go, Daphne. Go.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that it's impossible not to love ourselves when we get a glimpse of who we are in the universe.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, in this incredible, vast experience of stars and galaxies and earth and beauty and connection. And then we get the aha. It's like, I am part of this.
Mm-hmm.
How can I not love it?
Yes.
How can I not love myself for being somebody on this incredible journey?
Yeah.
It's once we get that little glimpse, it's like self-love it's a different thing. It's not about loving our limitations, loving our, being okay with not being able to do what we want, or that's not what it is. It's getting a glimpse that we're all part of this amazing journey together. How are we going to shape it?
Yeah. And because it is so funny because I have a few dear friends of mine that's asking, what is you doing? What is happening over there? And it's funny because I used to say, you need to get some of this, what I got over here.
Totally. They want it.
Right. You need to get some of this I got over here. And he was like, well, what are you talking about? I said, the more when you go through this process and when you go through this journey and you are truly living in your truth.
Yes.
That is where you find your purpose. And in that purpose, that is where you become to where you start serving others.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, well, we can't do anything for God. So we can't do anything for this. Well, first we got to fix ourselves. Well, we got to get here to get to that level.
Yes.
So we go in there with a glow. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes. Glow, people. When I'm talking about a glow, I'm talking about when people see you and they see a light.
Yes.
When they see a light, when people feel so comfortable around you that it's just a light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And it's not that far off, right? Because the only thing that's blocking it is the ego structure. Yeah. And the ego structure is just a program that we have been indoctrinated to live by. Yeah. Live small, live in comparison, live in anxiety, live in fear. We have been brainwashed to stay away from our authentic self. Mm-hmm. Now, why is this? Right? Maybe there's fear at some level that if we all come into our authentic self, that there's going to be too much power at the bottom. Right? And so, but that's not the way it's going to work. We come into our authentic self and we're not even interested in fighting for anything. We're interested in being.
Yes.
And in the being, all these solutions and creativity and ways of connecting, right? They just flow.
Yeah.
So, we're not far from it. We're just not far from it.
No, I truly believe that. I believe in with us just speaking, it can truly be, it truly is a domino effect, or whether I say a ripple.
Yeah.
It's a ripple that flows through. And it's so many of us that speaks the same language in this.
Yes.
But also we speak the same language amongst ourselves, but then also we can take those languages and be able to relate it to others.
Exactly. It's a matter of translating for people that have never learned the language.
Yes.
And so you can meet people at different phases on this journey and know instantly, because this language ultimately is the language of resonance.
Yes.
And we know if we're resonating with somebody or not. And if we're not resonating, we have to be okay with it and not make that person the wrong person or us the wrong person or that something is wrong. It's just part of the evolution.
Yeah.
That it's just the way it works. We end up connecting with people that are at different frequencies, different mindsets, different life experiences, but then something happens and we connect heart to heart.
Yeah.
And then it just opens it up again. Yeah. Now we're back in the flow.
Yes, yes. So let me ask you this, because you speak about energetic awareness a lot.
Mhm.
Can you share how tuning into our energetic fields helps to guide us towards our truth?
Absolutely. So when we tune into our own energy, it's usually for people who are just beginning, they're going to tune into their thoughts and their emotions, right? That's the most recognizable part of our energy. So in that, we start to witness ourselves, and we start to witness, oh goodness, I have been angry for a month now, right? I've got this anger under the surface, right? Or we start to think, man, I'm really, I have these bad thoughts about myself and the world, and, negativity, criticism, that kind of thing. So the very first step is to witness the type of emotional and mental energy we live in, because that literally is the pool that we are creating for ourselves. And in that pool, we're either going to have a lot of potential, or we're not going to have much potential at all. If we are living in a toxic pool, we're not going to get out of it, right? So the first step is, after we realize the state of consciousness that we're in, then we begin to find little openings to beauty. So we start noticing beauty, notice the sunrise. And the sunrise, we not only look at the sunrise, we actually feel the sunrise moving through our body, right? Because the energy of the sunrise, it's not only carrying light, it's carrying life force.
Yeah.
So there's an energy to it. And if we really feel that energy, it's going to feel like love. So we begin to understand that there's so much love everywhere where we look, with one another, with the flowers, with the birds, with the trees, with the creativity of people, with humanity at its best. And then we shift our awareness. Our energy begins to perceive on a different level. Now we're not looking at the negative. We're actually looking at the positive. And when we're looking at the positive, we become the positive. There's an infinity loop between what we perceive and who we are. So we just begin to choose, which is one of the stages of transformation. When we have choice, we exercise that choice muscle to choose love, choose beauty, choose connection, choose solutions, get out of the toxic pool, get into the light. And that's how we build this energy inside us. And once we build it inside us, we're rising to a higher frequency. Beautiful. And then there's all sorts of potential, all sorts of pathways, all sorts of opportunities, all sorts of transformational potential right there in front of us.
Beautiful. I love that. I love everything that you just said. And I want to make sure that our listeners are truly hearing what you're saying. Yeah. So I have a question that I know that you probably already answered in this, but yeah. We talk about shifting limited beliefs as well.
Mm-hmm.
How can someone begin to identify the thoughts? Now, I know you said about the one before, but how does it identify those limiting thoughts and how those patterns are holding us back from living authentic?
Mm-hmm.
You said it a little bit in there, but I want the listeners to truly hear from this question.
Yeah, I think it is hard for people to hear that they are actually the problem and they are actually the solution, right? It is hard to really accept that because we think something's being done to us,
yes.
But actually it's not. We're creating so much of our life. And of course there's, life is what it is. So we're going to have experiences that are going to be hard to navigate. So when we realize that we are the vehicle, we're the vehicle for the transformation, and we begin to we can write it down right in the morning, just write it down. This is what I've been thinking lately. And when you see it in front of you, or you write it down in terms of your feelings, When you see it in front of you, you say, oh my goodness, I'm negative. I'm being negative right now. And it's okay, because we're all the same, no, everybody can be negative, right? It doesn't make us a bad person. It just makes us realize how trapped we are by our own mind and our own emotions. Mm-hmm. And once we realize, it's kind of like a board game. If we put it in front of us, we say, okay, I've got my marker. Am I going to choose light, or am I going to choose to be stuck? Am I going to choose to move forward, or am I going to just sit here? Am I going to choose to reach out for support, or am I going to do nothing? And if we choose to do nothing, that choice, because our choices are so powerful, that choice could trap us for 5 years easily. Right? We just get stuck. Mm-hmm. Right? And then we see life go by. Mm-hmm. Right? But if we choose, just in the morning, look at it, write down the circle, put a circle on one side, a circle on the other side. Am I choosing to evolve? Am I choosing to take my life to a different place? Am I choosing to get unstuck? If we say yes, then that sets our intention. And this is very much about physics, right? This isn't about wishing and hoping. Mm-hmm. This is about alignment. Yeah. And once we click into that alignment, then whoosh, it all opens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is going into my next question. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is going into our next question about the shift to intention. Why is it so important to align our intentions with our purpose? And how does that shape our everyday actions?
Yeah, our intention. So, when we look at things energetically, what is energy? When we look at energetics, we're actually in the science domain, right? We're not in the spirituality domain. We're in the science domain. So when we do human potential work at this level, we're combining science and spirituality. We're finding where those two things come together. And so, as it turns out, from a spiritual standpoint, we can get into elevated states of consciousness connected to the universe or God or whatever a person's vocabulary is around it. I think we can all agree it's the same thing, yeah. Right? So that helps our spirit come alive. All right. However, if you look at the science behind it, what you're seeing, and for people that perceive energetically, you're actually seeing the person's spirit organized differently, right? Just like our physical body, if we're lifting weights, we're going to get stronger. So the science behind weightlifting is important, mm-hmm. right? And the science behind spiritual evolution is important. And what we realize is that it's not about just wishing and hoping and complaining and trying to will ourselves forward. We actually have to come into alignment with our energy, the energy of our mind, the energy of our heart, the energy of our spirit needs to click into entrainment, into alignment. And so intention is our powerhouse. It's our super force. We put our intention connected to what we want to accomplish in our life, what's most important to us at the deepest level. And there is absolutely no way that we are not creating an opening for ourselves. Yeah. Right? Now, what happens next is where the skill comes in, where the mastery comes in. Because sometimes when we create that opening, everything falls apart. Like you said, you had to throw out a whole script, right? Because and I do this all the time. I say to the people I work with, I say, we're dealing with this concept and it's really kicking my butt, right? Because whenever I say we're going to deal with this concept, then I have to go through the process too.
Yeah.
Right. And so that I have to, I get met with my own challenges, and then I have to get beyond those challenges. But that's what makes us stronger. Right. That, we're not just going to, like wish ourselves into it. We have to actually prove that we can hold our own on this higher level.
Yeah. Yeah. That was beautifully said. And why I say that is because you started off about ego. You started off very in the beginning. Yeah. Everything you said moving forward is about removing the ego.
Exactly.
It truly is. It's about removing the ego. And as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking like ego was built from misinformation.
It was totally. It was totally built at that level. And by the time we were 7, right? Yeah. So, it stopped. And the tragedy is that our authentic self, it's not just sitting there fully formed. We have to develop it, right? If we want to be a musician, and we are a musician in our authentic self, we're not just going to be able to sit down at the piano. Most of us, there are some savants, but most of us have to actually develop it and learn it.
Yeah.
Same thing with our higher self. It's sitting there in potential, right? And the ego has blocked our development from the time we were 7 years old. So there was a lot of time that we could have been developing ourselves on this higher level. But the good news is it can happen very quickly. It's often very accelerated, but at the same time, it's a different way to live.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. So let me ask you this. Would you be able to guide us through a brief practice of visualization that might help connect us to our higher selves?
Well, I do use one that I help people with. So let's see if it works. Okay. You want to do it? Yeah. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay. So everyone, thank you for this opportunity to guide you. Let's go ahead and just close your eyes for a moment. And you're going to feel a string at the top of your head. And this string is, you're going to feel like you're lifting up. And follow this string all the way up to night sky, above the clouds, all the way up to starlight. And just find yourself letting go of your personal story, your personal problems, your personal experience, and you're just going to find home base all the way up to starlight, and float there for a moment. And stay here, and at the same time become aware of a wave of light, a very light wave of light that moves up through your core, your torso. And we're going to just move this light up through your torso, and it's going to transmute the emotion that's kind of hanging out there. It's going to transmute the thoughts. It's going to transmute the compression and the constriction, and you're going to expand your internal space so that you are relaxed in yourself. And this will shift your frequency to the frequency of your authentic self, your higher self. We're safe here to let the ego go and come into this wave of light that brings through your own presence. And now become aware of just expanding this light to the edge of your personal field, which is at about arm's length. So now you're in your own bubble of light all the way around you. You're floating in your own vibration, your own personal vibration. And now activate every cell in your body to this vibration. This is your I am. And you get to experience it through every cell in your body. And now center in the center of your head, which is actually your pineal gland. So it's above your ears and about the center of your forehead. So natural place to look out, even though your eyes are closed. It's just natural to view life from this elevated perspective. This is your center of clarity. And while we're here, we're just going to do a little healing to the heart. So we're just going to go into the heart center from this clear, fresh, recalibrated energy. And we're going to release the pain and confusion from your heart. And move back into presence, present time, with all the potential that we have right now when we are in present time. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come on back to this space.
Thank you for that. Thank you. So I don't know if it was just me or if you heard. It's like I heard. Wow, it was kind of weird. it was kind of, yeah. It was really weird, because even when you were talking about the string here, I felt. And listen when I say this, listeners, I kind of felt like my head moved up.
Yeah, totally.
My whole spine, like everything from
yes.
But once I did that, then it was like my ears opened up and I started to hear, I don't know what it was. It was like a I don't hear it at all right now. I don't hear it at all.
Like a vibration?
Yeah, but it was just like it was. I'm like, what is happening? And I just sat in it, y'all. I just sat in it just to see what was happening. Was there supposed to be any words that come with it? And I know this is so freaky, and I tell you all the time when things happen to me, I share it right here on.
Oh, totally, absolutely.
Because a lot of times they be very out of body experiences. You look like, oh my God. I remember the very first time I was in my closet and I was sitting at my altar and I was doing, I was meditating as well as doing visualization all at once. I didn't have any, I was the only one at home. My baby was at school. I think my mom was at, she did bowling earlier in the day. So I was at home by myself. No, she was gone away to Chicago. So I was home by myself, husband at work, sitting in my closet. I'm in it deep. All I knew is I heard water running. Like, it scared me because I'm the only one in the house. So I jumped up, ran out of my closet, looked around the whole house. There was no water running. I said, oh my God, like, what is it?
Yeah, totally.
Like, what was that? Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to lie, Daphne, it took me a few more days to go back in that closet.
I'll bet. I'll bet. It can be very strange, right? Because what we're literally doing is we're shifting from being a physical being to being a light body.
Yeah.
And so when we shift, the meditation that I just led you through is about flipping that switch.
Yeah.
And when we flip that switch into our expanded self, our perceptions are a little different. We have to learn how to perceive life in a way because we're perceiving so much more. And in terms of what we're hearing and what we're seeing, we're not only seeing with our physical eyes, we're seeing with our third eye, right? We're seeing with that, that clarity.
Yeah.
Life is totally different perceptually. And, but that's where the magic is.
Yeah. That was good. That was really good. I'm going to tell my sister about this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's, I've been teaching this technique for, over 25 years. And it is the fastest way that I know to get into an elevated consciousness. Mm-hmm. Just like 30 seconds, 3 minutes, just bring yourself into alignment, elevate up, and then you have switched from ordinary reality to extraordinary reality.
Yeah. 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 You have to forgive me right now because I'm trying to figure out the message for me in that.
Yeah.
Really. And for me, I'm getting that I need to listen more right now. I need to listen more. That's what I'm hearing.
Listen to the universe.
Yes, that's what I'm hearing, to hear more, because I see and I do use my third eye a lot. I use my third eye, my intuition a lot. But I'm supposed to open these up because what I'm thinking is, oh, there is a mentor that's going to come into my life. And I need to hear that mentor. I need to hear that mentor. Yeah. Mm.
So this is the remarkable thing about the journey, right? The remarkable thing about the journey is that when we actually develop our energetic anatomy, which is what we just did, right? That was a developmental process to move ourselves into alignment with our higher self. When we do that, we actually become a direct channel. And when I say channel, I'm not talking about other entities or beings. I'm talking about our direct connection with the universe and what the universe is saying. Yeah. And it just starts streaming through. We learn to put it into words because it doesn't come in words. It comes in a feeling or a perceptual experience. But we can translate it like you're doing into words. And that, I don't think there's anything better than knowing we have a direct connection to guidance for ourselves.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I am laughing because this is just so confirming for me. It's aha, it's confirming. It's like, yes, I got it. Oh, wait, let's get it. Like, all of this.
And, awesome.
And it brings it, and I have happy tears. It's just so full, overflowing right now that's in my heart. And anyone that has been following me through my career, even through this podcast, was like, okay, I can understand why Nyomi is so excited. And that's why I want other people to feel this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we have to. This is the evolution of our species. I mean, imagine how much fun we're going to have, right? When we can all blossom. Like, that's what I'm seeing, Nyomi, for you in this moment, that something clicked for you and you just blossomed even more than you have. And you have been on this journey of blossoming, and you just discovered, oh my gosh, there's a whole nother level of blossoming. And that is so exciting.
Actually, yes.
Yes, it's so exciting.
Yes.
And what a celebration. I can't wait until we're just dancing in the streets, right? Because we all know that we know.
Yes. Yes. All right, we have come to the end of our episode. So what I want to say to you, my beautiful listeners, right here, is that I want to leave y'all with this reflection for the week. I want you all to ask yourself, what mask, what fears, or what beliefs are you holding on to and you are ready to release, to embrace your true self? And I want you to journal it. I want you to journal this. In what ways am I living from my highest self today? And how can I strengthen that connection? Let this be your sacred time to just step into who you were always meant to be. Not the version who you perform, not the version who you've always known, but deep inside. Remember earlier this year, I told you all that I was living without my mask, but I still had it in my hands. But I told you all that I put it down. And I told you that I took off my costume, and my costume was my explants, my implants. Those were my costumes. And I told you now I am living fully in my full authentic self. And if y'all can truly understand where I'm at today and where I am going to be in the next few months, my prayer is that all of you can feel what I feel. I really do. I really do. And I thank you, Daphne, for just giving me that exercise right there, because it gave me something else that I did not know that I had.
It's wonderful. Yeah, your journey is just so inspiring. And I just, I'm going to sleep better tonight knowing you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Again, thank you for just blessing us with your wisdom, your energy, and your presence. I know so many hearts. I know my heart is opening, and you have made it fully full and overflowing today, just from your words and just for everything that you shared with us. I know to my tribe right here that I know that they are getting something out of this. I know that they are. I don't want to say the names, but there's some out there that always take the pen and paper, as Dr. Will would say, their purpose pen and purpose paper, and they're forever writing things that they've learned on these episodes here for the season of self-love. And I want them to truly understand is that as we continue to grow in this process, I want you to embrace it. Don't be afraid of it. Step into it whole as your authentic self and remove that ego. So Daphne, where can they find you at? The book, everything. Let the listeners know, where can they find your services at? If you have a book, where can they find it at? Everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd love to see you. At DaphneMichaels.com is my website. I actually do a free experience. It's called the SHIB experience. And, we can do more alignment exercises and that kind of thing. You just need to sign up for that. And yeah, everything is on my website.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, my beautiful people. Well, again, I thank you all for just continuing on this amazing journey of self-love and just being courageous enough to walk the walk. All right. So until then, have an amazing day. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today on this journey of intentional healing. I hope that this conversation has filled your cup and reminded you of the beautiful and worthy person that you are. I want you to remember, healing isn't about rushing. It's about showing up for yourself with love and intention, one day at a time. So I'll see you back here Monday and Wednesday for another episode of the Season of Healing Intentionally, right here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. So until then, keep choosing you. And visit us at the seasonofselflovepodcast.com for show notes and resources. And remember to connect with me on Instagram at The Real Nyomi Banks. This has been brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, because your healing matters. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are exactly where you need to be. Take care.